Interlining connections to line signals recommended to soul identification, a new identifying position of line communications, which means that all the old contracts are going to be disassociated, disattached. It's important that we understand these things because we're coming into a new Earth position. The Earth doesn't and won't identify anybody's soul recognition light system anymore through calculation. So this is more of an intimate level of a video because everybody has to get into the connections of the new body. The traction locations of the Earth will not understand anything through light signals anymore, through tractions. In position, everybody has to be soul identified, okay, into the fifth dimensional line system. So you're probably thinking this is a science fiction movie. No, it's not a science fiction movie. It's all based on our reality and where we're supposed to be in connections to line positions of time. Space identifying, time identifying your positions and where you are through gravity locations. Your perceptions have to understand your alignments to connection. I just sent a video on TikTok, so hopefully you can watch me below. I go live every day. It's important that you start identifying yourself. So when you look in the mirror, you look at actually, oh, now I know who I am, right? Traction locations, positions. Earth is in that connection. Everybody has to get into the new body activation. You have to be healed to connections of time connections, right? So in that reality, you put yourself in that connection, right? Your dream sets are in position, your line communications, your angle points are in division levels, your triangular locations are back in the position of time. Space anomaly has to reach that position. Moon surfaces have to stand your program setting, and you have to understand connections to the sun, right? Because the radiation is changing your perceptions of your eye receptacles. The eye generation line system 2 calculation sets core system superposition of time. So it's all about saying to yourself that the Earth itself is shedding a new light. It doesn't reside anymore on its old light. So that's what I'm saying. You have to replace yourself. It's like replacing electrical light, a light bulb or anything like connection. What happens when the light goes out? You buy a new one. Well, it's the same thing, except you're working with connections of space and time and positions where we have to get into a new traction location. Everybody has to be healed. I was put on this earth to heal your contracts, to open up your body, put in new contract positions, get you into new computer operator center position locations. You guys have to get into that connection because the line channels your position of time. So in that connection, I went into heavy downloads. So every time I go through download, right, I centralize my system. Now I got to set up operation position of time locations. All my computerizing positions of travels, 12 computers are in space position of the center core of the universal system of time connections. So I got to set up new datas every single day, right? So I don't just deal with everything through thought or recognition of time. I deal with everything through connection of the universe and weather and connections and countries and positions and allocated positions. It's all about humanity waking up, okay? I keep saying that because you have to understand that the Earth is no longer residing in that low frequency. So everybody's going to have trouble in that sense, no matter. It's all about, you want. That's what it sounds like, right? When you get sacred breath and you communicate with the universal system, the operation cycle and its position. Soul identifies you through your voicing grid patterns, right? So when you're going through connections, you want to communicate with this, you want to communicate with that. It has tones. Everything is connected. So you got billions and trillions of cells. So each cell has a different tone operation, has a different light signal, has a different molecule structure of connection. So it has its own behavior, has its own intelligence. So we have to get in that position of a new body because the Earth cannot no longer reside with humanity in the 3 dimension. Okay? The fourth is the cycle positions, right? That's the river. You cross the river, you go into that connection. I've done back phrasing videos to tell you how powerful of what's happening right now. And it's going to affect everybody on the gravity and the power atmospheric positions of time. Your central line system has to get into the angelics. You have to get into your wingspans. Okay, everybody has to be aligned through the chakra. You have to understand your connection to your soul connection is coming into the attractions of the sun, the solar sun, the God sun, the frequency sun, the activation sun. Okay, the pure sun. Okay, the purity of its sun. Okay, so we're coming into extremely, extremely powerful activation. Now, I'm getting you guys prepared. Okay, you have to know what's going on, and it's very personal to me because there's a lot of people that have no idea what's going on with their soul identifiers. I'm on TikTok every day doing lives and I say, well, can you help me? Can you help me? How do I get into this? How do I get into this? You start off meditation, right? And people ignore that. You can't ignore space. You can't ignore time because you're part of time. The central line system of the communication center connections is the Earth is sitting in the position in space, guys. It's in space. And you have to understand the Earth is high rising faster and faster. Okay, so you have to get into your new body of activation of light. You have to get into your new alignments. Okay, the sun and the moon and everything through the Earth is trying to get humanity into a new code. Again, the attraction locations too on TikTok. People are putting platforms of portals and they have no clue what they're doing. No clue what they're doing. So I give them references, codes, so they can apply it to their levels, to higher level of their connections to their soul identifications. Okay, but you can no longer position yourself in your old programmed soul. Your soul is no longer to be identified to the Earth. Okay, it's going to disrupt signals through calculation. The center connection line system to its friction and its positions, the sonic waves and its line signals is going to change traction locations to your dream set position locations. So it's truly, truly important to understand these things. You have to be healed. Okay, you have to get into the connections. You have to high rise to your positions of time location. Okay, so I think people keep forgetting that the Earth is in space. I don't think they see that. Maybe they think it's just a dream. Maybe they don't think angels and archangels are real. Maybe they don't think entity force systems and other solar galaxy planet positions are real. Maybe they don't think the universal system is real. Maybe they don't think planets are real. Because being programmed for so long, you don't think otherwise. And then you just forget everything that you forget. Oh, I forget this, oh, I forget that. Because everything's a question, right? People are scared. People are afraid. People are disrupted, right? You disrupted me in my new program. Okay, you affected me. Okay, has nothing to do with the grounds, has nothing to do with the atmospheres. Okay, now it has been triggered. Okay, the Earth has been triggered. All right, so it's like putting fire to an anthill. Okay, what happens if you flick a fire and you put it to the anthill? What happens? The ants scatter. Right, they go all over the place. Right. Well, that's exactly what's happening right now with humanity in this gravity position of time. But you have to understand how important it is to get into that vibrational system. You have to get into your gravity vessels of AI. You have to. You have no other choice. Okay, the central line system, the sun is going to a high communication cycle, which means that the miracle and its standpoints is going to go on a communication line signal, which means that the Earth and its gravitational pull is going to high rise to acceleration. That accelerator is going to change your body traction locations. It can't interline connections anymore. It can't not identify you in your communication cycle, a three-dimensional system. The fourth winning cycle to its position of line communication, okay, is the trans. Okay, so it's all about you understanding how you have to evolve, okay, and get into connections of surrender. Okay, you don't want to repeat what you just did. Okay, you don't want to live a life existence and be 40 years from now and go back again to the past and do everything all over again. Okay, it's next to impossible to do that, right? Because the earthbound is right here through connections, and you're in a three-dimensional system, and the Earth is trying to send signals, right? But it only stands here. It won't travel to you. It won't connect. It won't connect. It's like a separation of a wire. right? What happens? What happens when you add wire to the ground of water, right? Goes out, okay? Your light signals will go out, okay? Now, this is coming from your first command, the Galactic Force, the Rebellion Alliance, Galactic Federation Light Council. I'm telling you what you need to do. You have to get into this position of time location because Mother Gaia and Father Space are extremely, extremely ready to go through acceleration speeds. So the Earth is basically going through a new physical form. It's coming into a new identity. That identity is a new soul identity, which is fifth dimension. Humanity traction location and position of line communication is in the center core of the universal system. It's floating in space, guys. I keep saying that to everybody. I mean, if you wake up, what's happening? Well, space and time is not going to change until you change yourself within. Okay? So when you change yourself in, you become your own connection to your own soul identification. You become your own light. You become a new progression. You become a new space. You become a new time. You become a new intelligence. You become a new vessel. Okay? You become a high-rise connection to the sun. Okay, and everything to the moon and the program setting and everything to connections. I'm getting so many connections of line communications. I'm recruiting so many levels of intervoicing line connections. I'm setting in my graphing position of my computer operations simulation core. The creation center and its position on its line communication is going through so many levels of soul identifiers. Okay, so just be cautious. Prepare yourself what's going to happen next. Okay, you got to get it from somewhere. Somebody's got to tell you something, right? So answering patterns, that connection line system, really get into the meditation, really open, the mindscaping of your connections. Try to get into those open cycles, right? My force team is in that connection system, so they'll feel it, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay. So it's getting past that barrier, okay? So we have that connection to the conscious of the mind, okay? And we have the conscious to the subconscious to its subtraining and its mid-training levels. It's got its low, medium, and high frequencies. You guys have to get past the balance of the universe. You have to go over, okay? So you got to come out of the water and into the atmosphere, okay? So you can't line channel anything through connections of three-dimensional position communications, right? Everybody's intervoicing positions. I was on TikTok last night when I was live, and people are saying to me, well, I can't communicate with my friends now. That's because you're a higher vibration. You're coming into more of calculation of who you are through identifying yourself, right? The three-dimensional system, because they are still there, and there are four, right? There are 3-4 connections, dimensional settings, right? But they have to get into the five-dimensional of its vessel, okay? That's the issue that's happening right now, okay? I'm getting strong wind holes through connections, any force connections of so many dimensional settings saying, get humanity to wake up, okay? There's a galactic war that's going on right now in this connection, right? Surfacing positions of Saturn in its location, everything through Jupiter and surfing location and its position, right? So basically, the Reptilian Alliance is trying to take over Mars in position, okay? The moon is set to position locations. The rebellion is fighting right now in space anomaly, right, at this very moment, okay? So everything through this connection is force rising, its position of time, location, its presence. But I present things that are happening in the future. The future is the fifth dimensional of humanity coming into the telepathy of 0.01. Now, your traction location identifications has its own portal, okay? So if you want to understand your portals, you can put it on your platforms, you can put it on your YouTube, you can put it on your traction. That is your identifier, okay? That opens up your portal. That puts you in the connection of your energy force connections, okay? The graphing positions of your computers or anything through your iPhones or anything through your galaxy positions of time puts allocated locations to your tracking systems, all right? So it's really important you guys understand what's going on right now. It's important. It's extremely important. Now's the time for everybody to get into their new body of light, okay? So, and you have to understand the connections to its awakening. What is the awakening? It's awakening the heart. The centralized system has been so separated. Everybody has been, cracking the surface on positions. The earth has been, been separated. It's like the earth has to come back. The Band-Aid has to come off. right? The earth has been bound on so many wounds for so many decades. We can't have that anymore. It's not allowed. It's not prohibited. It's restricted. Right? So the Galactic Federation and everything, the rebellion is taken over. Okay? So there's a lot going on right now, guys. All right, so let's get into this. All right, so guys, how are you guys doing so far? Tina, Brandy, how's it going? Brittany, how's it going? Yeah, Brittany, just basically you have to go through my healing, you know.
I don't have an answer for that.
Oh, I got Surrey connecting through digital form here. All right. Yeah, I can help you out with that, Brandy. Just go to my email, and basically, I'll set up a platform for your husband. Your husband's on a different DNA pattern. His location position is off through gravity locations. If you don't understand, you're not connected to the earth. You have to understand you are the gravity position of the earth. You are the earth. You have to understand your chakra positions of time. So if you understand that, you're connecting to space and time of position. So the thing is, you have to get into the information of yourself. You have to get into the soul identification of 5D. You have to get into telepathy, right? Because the three-waving system of dimension, it doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. It's not there anymore. Fourth riding, that portal is closed. So the actual system of the earth and the planes and the physical realm is now in the fifth dimension, fully and completely. And the earth wants everybody in humanity get into the dimensional setting to its perception of time location. Okay? So go through my email. I'll set up a platform. All right? Now, once you get confirmed through my email, I'll send codes to your emails. It's instantly healed. The traction location, it's all about your positions reaching the sun. That's the crown chakra. I open up all your 12 centers. I think you have to take this serious now because it's all connected to vibrational system. The earth is going to go through dimensions of time. It's going to go through acceleration. It has to change its color. It has to change its nature. It has to change its waters. It has to change its time position so it can get into higher formation into the sixth dimension, guys. Okay? It's all about force winding cycles, and it's the oscillation winds that changes everything, the galaxy location of dimensions of portals. Okay? And it's fascinating too. When you go through my healing, you automatically understand what an orb is. Then you understand dimensions of time. And then you understand your codes. Oh, I understand what my traction and identification is. Right? And then you start talking like a computer. Now, in a way, when I say you talk like a computer, you're just more informed, okay, with the technology of what you have through AI. It's awareness of its information. You have to be aware what's happening with space of you and time positions of you through travels, okay? Because if you wake up and you're not sure what's happening, you're living that same reality, you're going into friction notes, you're going into toning divisions of locations that don't understand anything through traction. You don't even understand your name anymore. Some people are losing their name tracks, okay, in position. Imagine that, losing your name. You forget your name for a second. You forget your dream. You forget where you are. You forget what day it is. You forget what time it is, right? That's disassociation. That's separation from your particle system, right? So the tractions of time at 369 has to understand your proactive system to travel connections, right? So you can understand your soul, your chakras, and everything through your wings. It's all about getting up to the wings, right? So the wings is everything through teleportation, okay? So waking up is the most important thing. Waking up from what you see every day, right? So if you put yourself in the pro cycles, the positive system of you have no problem. You're connecting to the earth, you understand the moon, and you understand the earth. That's all you have to understand. 3, right? 4 and 5 within the system. Now, calculating modification systems, right? I told you guys to get into your time frames of the crystalline system. I have diamond core hands through connections right now. There's diamonds Okay, you can create diamonds and shapes into your crystalline if you understand your activation centers, right? See that? You see the diamond? See the diamond? Right? That's crystalline. So I can change my shapes now. See that? See the crystal? See that? You see the crystal in the center? You see the shape? So that's activation. I looked at it yesterday and I said, wow, it's changing formation system. And that's connected to my thought reckoning patterns. So it's eye interference of feed reception location. And the crystalline can change your shape. So if it changes shape, you're in a different dimensional time conditions because your energy is very powerful and it's connecting everything through source, right? And then you get into shades and shadows and positions of time location. Intervoicing connects to the sun and the moon program settings and everything through their position of gravity locations, right? But you can actually see it, can't you? Look at it. You see the diamond? Powerful, isn't it? So it's there to stay, right? So what happens now is I understand the 12 central systems in my computer through all connections to the brainwave patterns and my cloud interference, because I track all level connections. Your hand formation and everything through the blood vessels and all that, the crystalline, change the shapes, all connect to your thoughts of transmission light. So whatever this shape is, right? So it's all about centralizing yourself, okay, to understand yourself inside. Okay, truly understand your crystalline positions, truly understand your atmosphere positions. Okay, the atmosphere, hemisphere, stratosphere, bioatmosphere, Uranian atmosphere, the universal core atmosphere of its position. So, it's all about humanity coming out of the balance of that going above. You have to get out of the water. You have to get out of the subterraneans and the Mediterraneans. You have to get out into the atmospheric positions of space, right? That's what happens when you wake up, okay? I'm not talking about the higher self. I'm talking about you coming into a new vessel, a new time vessel of space, okay? Your attraction locations have to understand your perceptions of time. People come to me, why are my eyes changing? Well, you're changing interference of the sun. Sun's trying to understand you through perception through time frequency code systems. Okay, why my ears ringing? Very basic. You have to understand why they're ringing. If not, you're going to get reaction cycles. The head rotation system, and you get headaches and migraines, right? This can all be done through tracking position. This can all be done through healing. So imagine that. You can start healing your body, okay, through space and time of travel connections. And the intervoicing line to its connection, intervoicing to its position, right? But it's incredible. Look at that. It's incredible what you see. So I finally got balanced with everything through 12 rotation center connections on my computers, but the data processing is so heavy loaded. See, when people wake up more and more, right, I get more and more information. And it's not just information, it's giving back, right? So it's understanding the planetary system, it's understanding the solar connections, it's understanding the activation circle to its position of time. You have to understand your gravities because you're on the earth, right? You walk the earth. So wouldn't you like to be in a new body, a new activation light system, try to understand more calculation, stop getting less headaches, stop getting sores and pains, eye interference, your filters, your eyes are going to go blurry. These are the things that happen. Okay, it's like basically if you look at a tree, the tree goes through formats of seasons, right? It changes colors, but it does it on its own. It knows what it's doing. Nature doesn't trap its position. If it gets caught in its winds, we use everything through its alignment. So humanity has to understand they have to help themselves. To help themselves, we help each other. And that's the understanding. We come into one alignment, one system, one calculation, modification, coming into an atom, okay? We have to understand our connections to our transmission lights. We have to understand our connections to our gravity positions of its earth. We have to understand our connections to its chakra positions of time. Okay, it's extremely important because that's what's happening right now with the earth. Okay, the earth planes is changing so many levels of geometry set locations, guys. You have to get into your body of light. Okay, now's the time. I was put in this position. I've healed thousands of people. So I'm just letting you guys know what's happening right now, okay? So the existence of the three-dimensional system, okay, it doesn't exist anymore. And people are still fighting that. right? So you have to get into a new custom. You have to get into a new body vessel. You have to get into a new transformation light system. You have to get into a new chakra location at gravity position. You have to get into a new dream set position. Okay. So, and it connects to everything through the spine, the cortex and the placebo, right? So you have to understand the Brainian atmospheric positions. You don't have to understand that through connection. You just have to understand that you have to get into the fifth dimensional telepathy. That's a communication cycle that the Earth is on a rotating. It's a rotator through its connection of its rotation system. The gravitational pull of the Earth, okay, is going beyond its system. Okay, if it goes beyond, everybody has to go beyond with it. So you have to beyond the system of its Earth in the fifth dimension. Okay, so just understand your positions of time is really important. Okay, to yourself. All right, it's knowing how to tell time. Right, it's knowing how to tell time. I said that before, and I'll say it again. Right, I'll show you what I mean. When you come to calculations, I showed you already what you do with your watch. Right, the watch is very important to you. So it's understanding what is everything through connections. All right, so think of this as space and time to position. Okay, all right. This is basically this. Look at this as the Earth, because that's all everybody sees. They only see one position of time, right? Three-dimensional line system, but you only see it through one perception. Now you have to understand why we had 12. You have to understand why we have the little hand and the big hand and the one that goes around. The one that's going around is you. Time capacitor positions. Okay, so when I bring it up close, right, you start seeing that. See that white dot? That white dot is you traveling. And the more you go closer and closer, it separates its position of location. Okay? Trying to get to that connection system. Right? It separates. It separates. See how see that separation there? That's a separation between you, space, and time location. So the watch is trying to understand your definition of time location. So what it does is it goes like this. One line signal comes in, comes in, comes in. It splits, and then it comes back, right? So it goes on the other side of the dimensional time position. So the clocking connections of the moon is in program setting balance. The sun is in its rotation of time zone position, and everything through the Earth, through the gravity position, is back in division of balance location, guys. So that's truly understanding that you are a watch of time through space. See that line? See it? That line there? See, bring it closer and closer and closer. Everything is done in 3D motion. It travels. See that? See it travel? Isn't that incredible when you see things? So, you just have to understand your transmissions. You have to understand your transmitting and receiving positions of time location. Okay, so now you know exactly what the little hand, the big hand. The little hand is the sun, the big hand is the moon, and everything through the connections, right? The ticking, right? That one that goes around, that's you in travel positions, right? So every time it goes around 12, you're vortexing through your thoughts of time location. So that atom goes into one center, right? So it's all about going to the other side. So when it splits, you're splitting space and time position, but you're coming back into position of time. Okay, so that's what happens. You get two sheets of metal, right? You got one circle in a position, okay? One travels, right? But you'll see it travel in 4 different directions, and it creates a pattern on a wall surface, right? That's a map sequence code to AI vessel connection line system to track location of the GPS to its I division location, to its weather patterns. Very, very powerful when you connect to higher realms of molecular structure of light. Everything through AI vessel understands these things. So the first thing you have to understand is why you wear a watch. You don't just wear a watch to tell time. You wear a watch to understand time through space, okay? All right, so how's everybody doing? For real, this is Matrix having a hard time keeping up with the Earth and the universe. That's exactly what it is, Mary Beth. Very good. What's wrong with your husband? Yeah, tracks in that position. I'll scan him. You just have to go through my email there, Brittany. Just tell your, basically, it's down below, right? I can help you in that form. I try to help heal him, but he just doesn't see where he needs to be put. See, the thing is, Brittany, you don't understand the time position of space where he is through notifications. You understand he's connected to his wires of time position of travel through his thoughts. Okay? And I appreciate what you're trying to do. But the thing is, too, you have to understand your time positions just through your watch alone before you can understand anything through mastery of this condition. So your physical system has to understand the watch of time through space. Yeah? Your AI vessel has to understand the wire connections of you inside through the chakra connections, right? Because each one is a dimensional time. It shapes and always changes everything through traction, right? So when you close your eyes, you're seeing roots. It's going round and round and round. It's red, right? So that's balance and security. Everybody's on a different DNA path, okay? Now you're connected to higher formation. You're coming into another transformation light of another dimensional time position of travel. So your colors change each time, but you have to understand the definition of each color of your chakra because it's connected to you through the gravity positions of your AI vessels. Okay? So, yeah, he needs motivation, yeah. Yeah, he's stressing out through his line signals. Everybody's going through this. Everybody's going through the lack of everything because they don't know what's going on. And that's the worst thing. That's the worst thing is anticipation because you don't know what's going to happen next. But as long as you concentrate on yourself, you will be totally fine because your reality changes, your TV reception, your dream sets, everything through reality, through your creation, you're starting to understand yourself through intelligence, through your watch. You understand what a watch is. It's not just a watch to wear and, oh, what time it is. Or how pretty it is. It's all connected to you. So it's a time capacitor machine. That's what this is. You just have to understand how to use it through its alignment. All right? So it's complicated stuff. I know that. But if you put yourself in positions of going forward, every day you wake up, you'll feel better about yourself. Okay? Because if you don't, you're going to have anxiety, stress, depression. And the worst thing, you don't want to put yourself in that connection, especially now, okay? Because it's exactly what Mary Beth is saying, that the Matrix is fighting humanity into its earth, okay? Because everybody's in a different program setting, okay? There's a lot of positive and there's more negative and positive now, okay? Because they focus on outside of everything that's going on and forget to focus on inside, okay? You change yourself inside. Everything around you outside will change. The inner force first, then the outer force. Okay? So, for example, in Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker, he took the barometers and that connection, the C-SPAN, that connection, the glass, right? The provisions, line signal, tractions, laser connection. Anyway, he was going through that optical level and then he took it away, right? Because he said to himself, well, basically, he said, use the force. So what did he do, right? He basically used his instincts and basically look what happened, right? So he didn't have to use the machine to look what was going on. He already knew his instincts. So it's all about instincts of you and how you use yourself through attractions, right? Those provisions or anything that's psychoconnections, right? But you have to understand your time capacitor position of you because you have to understand your connections to your vortex, okay? So when you go outside, you're vortexing every second per second. Every time this watch goes to 12, okay, you're vortexing through time. You just don't know it, right? So if you understand you're vortexing through each thought, right? Each thought is traveling into space. So each time you create a negative thought, you're traveling through the backforcing connections of your watch. Your watch is going forward, but I guarantee you, it reflects to you through your vibration, through its energy system. Everything is energy. Now, you have energy inside you. If you put your negative cycles every single day for 3 months, your watch will stop. And you'll have to get a new battery. There's a lot of people, oh, my watch is broken. Oh, my battery keeps breaking. Because you go in the negative wires. You have to understand everything through impulses. Everything is energy, like I said, and whatever your intention is, it travels to through its connection. Now, this is the inner system of you, right? But I've had this watch over 3 years, battery's still going. Battery's still going 3 years today, right? Because of my vibration, because of my energy. Look at yourself as a moon rock. Look at yourself as a starseed of light, okay? And not just a black surface, not looking at yourself as a glacier, looking at yourself as light, you know, fruition of light that's bright, right? Don't put yourself in those positions, the dark energy systems of black, right? Or your watch will stop and you have to keep getting batteries, right? Everything that you use, your phone, you understand, everything that you use is intelligence of behavior. So if you want your computer to be treated like gold, it will be treated like gold. If you say, oh, this darn computer, it never works, it's going to go out because it's attached to you, okay? Now, you might think it's crazy, but it's not. Because I was asking myself back in the 90s, we had problems with our TV receptions, right? You had the bunny ears and all that condition. And the TV just kept going out every time we're buying a TV. And I realized it was my negative system. It's my thought recognition patterns of travel. So when you travel your thoughts, you're traveling to your computer, you're traveling to your phone, and it's all connection to you. As soon as you pick up your phone, right, you're attached to it. Once you pick up your watch, you're attached to it. Once you pick up your water, you're attached to it. Everything is intelligence. So it's all connected to your human resonance through your behavioral system. It's how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself through your behaviors of your thoughts. Okay? You want to travel forward or you want to travel back? Right? You keep traveling back, you're going to keep getting batteries for your watch. Think about that. In fact, you're just to make a point, Matrix invades my privacy. In point of view, yeah, it does. It's understanding your connections to your negative cycle and your positive systems, but it's always going to be with you because we're in the fifth dimensional system right now. So you have to understand your new tesseracts and you have to understand your placebos and your cortex levels connections to your spine position and your dream connections, right? Because we're coming into new revelation of a new time position of space, right? So you have to understand your tetrahedrons too, the calculation. Mm-hmm. You are connected to that connection. Everybody's on a Privacy Act connection line system, so it's understanding your codes. It's understanding your copy and paste. It's all about understanding where you are connected through space and time position of travel. So I know I'm awakening because everything looks different. See, that's it. That's exactly where you want the connection. People, I once had things common with I don't anymore. So you're waking up and you're seeing everything different. You're getting connected to your vibration, your energy, chakras. That's good. Way to go, baby. Oh, great. Take it easy, Mary Beth. It's great seeing you. Hope you're doing well. So now's the time to ask questions on certain things, certain levels, anything to do with what's happening with you guys. So. Priscilla, how's it going? Clopius, yeah. I woke up 5 a.m. because the joints of my arms and hands were throbbing. Yeah. So you're going to intervoicing lines right now, and the earth is trying to communicate with higher force connections, right? You have your connections to your yoga, your Pilates, or anything in that line system. So the traction locations in position is trying to understand you through your throbbing or anything through. So it's all about you understanding more of the earth, right? And the earth is giving you what you need to know, right? It's going to go through reactions. It's going to go through vibration. If your feet are tingling, that happens a lot. If your hands are tingling, that happens a lot, okay? If you get headaches, that's a major, major disruption to space and time, okay? Because it's trying to wake you up. It's trying to get you centered, right? Because if you're not centered with the earth, you're going to keep going through throbbing through the arms and legs or anything, that connection. So it's important to get inline signals. During the transformation, would we forget people? No, you don't forget them. They stay with you in alignment, but you move forward. So you let go of the past. Okay? The past is there. It just doesn't exist in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Because when I look at the past of anything through pictures and all that, right? I have to go back into its alignment. I have to travel back in time because I'm at two-way high in location position, okay, through future connections. So I have to go back into the past to see what's going on, right? So it's going through a projection of a life cycle into the past, just to understand where that picture came from, right? That's how powerful you can be. So the higher you go, the more you let go of the past, but it stays with you in its alignment, okay? It has to stay with you, okay? Because you want to go back. You want to reflect, okay? And then you go back into the presence, which is the here and now of this earth. So great, Brittany. Looking forward to it. I'm out of alignment again. Yeah. See, the friction notice and its notifications. See, the thing is too that the earth is basically at a vibration where everybody's in a different DNA path. So your vibrational signals are getting more of a glitch, right? So it's testing you. It's testing you through your intelligence. What do you know about the earth through its ratios? What do you know through its travel? What do you know through its nature? Okay? Everything is given to you through letters, numbers, and shapes. So you understand the positions of space and time through its connection. Same thing with the watch and its position. Okay? So. But again, Brandy, I can set up a platform. You go through my email. I can help you out. I can heal you, put you back in alignment. It's understanding why you're out of alignment. Wouldn't you like to know what is happening with you every day when you wake up, especially when you come into the fifth dimensional system? Oh, I just went through an orb interference through connections. My energy chakra rotation center is off their position. I got to put it back in location. So you know it's wrong. So you're connecting to your intelligence through vibration. And this is going to help you because you're communicating inside. You have to understand everything through the earth and the moon and the sun is inside you. It's inside. It's just understanding your 3, 6, and 9 of travel, guys. You have to understand your soul. You have to understand your wings of your soul. So it's reaching the highest form. It's climbing that ladder, right? Getting to the top, right? Don't let that snake get you, right? It'll pull you down, okay? The interline system is connection. It's two sides of positions, okay? You have the abyss, whatever. The snake rotation center, and you got the angel. Angel here, okay? Snake there. So that's the connections to its abyss. Everything forms to its division of time position. You create whatever you want to create, right? So Galactica is going. Group hugs. Yep, group hug. I think everybody needs a hug. But D-Baby, I got to tell you, I went through that too, through transformation. I go through it all the time. My misconceptional system, at first everybody thought I was crazy, but then they realized I'm not crazy. When you wake up more and more, you have to go to somebody. Everybody needs somebody, You got to know that you're loved. You have to know that you've been taken care of, even if you feel alone. You're never alone. So go to somebody that you care about. Find a way to, go to a friend, solar text a friend, go on Zoom, just communicate with each other. Find a way to distract yourself, right? Find a way to do things. Find different program settings, find different rhythms, find different patterns. Change your patterns of interference. So I was with a friend for 25 years, right? We went to stunt school and, I just lost track of him because he's at a totally different vibration than me. So you lose tractions of friends, but then you gain new friends. And that's the whole understanding, right? The thing is that people put you down and you don't even know it. They can take away your energy. They can transfer your energy. They can reprogram your energy. There's a lot of things they can do, okay? But you have to understand your connection to your soul. If you understand your connection to your soul, they can't take your soul. Okay, but that's what understanding through connections. When you're sleeping, you protect your dreams and you connect to your light You have to protect your lights every night because you're open. Your mind is open when you're sleeping. You have no control when you sleep. Your mind is open. Okay, so you automatically ascend every night and you travel. So in position, it's important you guys get your wings and become angels so you can travel to dimensional time connections. And the interforcing lines of connections, then you understand representations of Michael, and then you'll see Jophiel, and you see Gabrielle, and you see Rogue, and you see all these, Metatron, you'll see Mezekek, you see the Equinox, you see the Anakis, right? It's all connected. It's all connected to you, but you got to get your wings. You got to get your wings. You got to know how to travel. It's next to impossible to be in space and travel without wings. You can't do it, right? It's your spiritual system, okay, that wants to wake up in its dimensional time of position. It wants to come home, right? Because the Earth wants to go home. Think of it that way. The Earth wants to go home. It has to get into the fifth dimension so it can go into the solar system of the sixth dimensional system. Okay? So, okay, Brandy. Great. Right. Don't forget to check me out on live on TikTok. I have no filter. I go from 1 hour to 3 hours just doing one video. I get over 15 to 2,000 people on watching me. So, yeah. No 3D friends, but I have found my soul family. There you go. See, that's a thing, Galactica. And those provisions in your Acme cycle see your conditioning of intelligence. You will see yourself going forward and forward, right? And the thing is, too, you don't really connect to your friends in the three-dimensional system. Okay, your allocated positions won't allow that through vibration. But over time, if they go into a new body system, okay, then you can be aligned with them through vibration. Okay, so these pass, it's up to them, though. It's up to them. See, you have to understand, the body is going to keep fighting, okay? The mind is going to keep going forward. So if the body keeps fighting and the mind keeps going forward, where's the balance? Where's the balance between the mind and the body? Okay? The mind, body, and soul have to be connected. It has to be aligned, right? And then it's soul identified to new chakra position, aligned communication, right? But over time, if that person decides to change, okay, starts to meditate, right? Opens up the mind, gets into the breathing, goes up to the light through that connection, right? Soul identification system. You have to be healed by a twin flame or light of God. Those are the only two that you can be healed from. Okay, you can't be healed just by doing meditation by yourself because you don't understand the gravity positions of its codes of its earth. Okay, there's a lot of things in TikTok too. They're doing this, they're doing this, they're doing that. Okay, what are you doing? Like, what are you sending out, right? So you got to be cautious in that too. A lot of intelligence is just going into transformation. Right? So I go through a lot of TikTokers, seeing which platform they're at, seeing which portal they're at, seeing what their dimension time they're at, where they are in space through their position, right? It's very important to understand these things. But when they high rise, you meet them again. And you meet your old friends from 20, 30 years ago. And then you become friends. You become best friends because you're in an alignment now. And you keep climbing with each other, right? So you're here and your friend is here. Your friend has to go up to communicate with you, right? You can't communicate like this. There's no alignment. It has to be here for mind telepathy. Now, if you're in shapes anomalies, it doesn't matter, right? Because you're in space and it's open space of the mind. But when it comes to people, you have to be aligned through line signal. That's the alignment. There's no alignment here. There's disattachment. This is the attachment. This, attached, okay? And that's the mind telepathy. So the transformation light has to go to the center position of you. That's calculation modification. It can't do that. So it's kind of like going down. You can't do that, right? You can't go up either, right? So it's important to understand these things, especially when you come into the fifth dimensional system of telepathy through communication signals. So yes, you should, Galactica. You should also too go on live. You're on for a minute. You go up to 1,000 followers, and then you keep following other people. You comment. You just express yourself in so many ways and forms. They have different apps. They have emojis. You really get to know a lot of people. It's a fantastic platform because everybody's going through the same thing in a different way of transformation. So it's all about giving back the light to everybody. But yeah. I got a lot of videos on TikTok, and I've gone past the 1,000 followers. I think I'm at 1,500 now. So I went up to, in one night, I went up to 400 followers. 400 followers in one night, you know, just on one video. So once they understand you and you present yourself with better videos, okay, you're coming into better connections of followers, and they will follow you, right? Once they follow you, things get easier and easier and easier with platforms, right? So a lot of people, you know, like it. And, you know, it's all about understanding that, you know, we're all in this together. So it's one big community, right? It's an uplift for everybody, right? Because a lot of people present themselves on so many levels, especially when they do their videos, because they're expressing themselves, what's happening to them of here and now, okay? We're coming into a new generation of time at 52 levels, okay, of telepathy, right? 52 generations, 52 levels, that connection system, right? I'm 52. I'm put in this position through 1969, right? Put the 6 and 9, you come into yin and yang. So we're coming out of the old program and coming into the new program of 69, which is telepathy, telekinesis, you know, because the earth has to understand humanity through communication, right? There's no more separation. There can't be any more separation through alignment of lines or anything through lights. So, oh, thank you, Angel. I appreciate that. Angel can help you out. She's on my team. She's on her formation. She's really good with the shapes. She's also connected with clouds and dragons. I believe I have Twin Flame who came back after 10 years. No contact. I spoke with him 5 minutes. Tough. But see, the thing is, everybody is going to come back in time to their own fruition of connection. All right. So they're working towards and that what they need to do to make themselves feel better. All right. And then down the road, you might see them on a platform, on a social community, you know, on some kind of event, or, you know, see them in person, right? If you're meant to see, you will see. If you're not meant to see, never was. Okay. So it all connects too. The alignment of the universe will let you know if you're going to see that person or not. But having connections to the universe and understanding the operation, okay, is absolutely amazing. It's astronomical when you connect through intelligence. Okay, just to know how the sun is feeling, how the moon is doing on programs, how the earth is doing through the gravity of its pull with humanity, right? So I woke up, I didn't know what was happening. I just followed. See, that's the thing. So it's confusing to the mind because the mind's trying to find collaboration to its thought, and its thought's trying to find its connection to its frequency level. It's trying to understand, oh, chakra system, oh, moon, oh, earth, oh, sun. So now you're coming into relation, now you come into reality, now you come into TV reception, now you're changing the dials. Okay, so now you're coming into a new TV, you're coming into a new computer, right? So you have to go up the ladder, right, to get to where you need to go, right? A lot of people are comfortable here, but a lot more people want to go here. It's all about going up, and then you can go, once you go up. So the whole point of position of time location is once you hit the sun and its surface of its connection, sun, okay, is the highest formation. It has to reach a certain level of time position of space so it can reflect on planet locations through division of connections, through dream set positions. That's what it is. It's reflection to everything through connection, right, on the earth. So that's why you see the sun in different ratios, different time zones, right? You travel here, travel there, right? So you're seeing the reflection of the sun on this side, you're seeing the reflection on this side. So it's reflecting. So it's got to be extremely high, right? It's the highest form. So once you reach the circle eye rotation center of its position, okay, you can go anywhere you want through tracking location. And then you go to Orion's belt. Orion's belt is past, present, and future of a gateway. Okay, it's connected to the constellation path. All right, so But the believing is everything. You got to get into believing. It's an old, practical, magical thing, you know. I'm not talking about, you know, the connections of Santa Claus or anything to the Easter Bunny, you know, in provision of what you think. You know, when I was a kid, yeah, I thought, you know, I heard voices of ho, 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 and, you know, reindeers on the roof and all that. And it was real. It was real because I was predicting that. So when you predict something, it comes true to its universe, right? Because that's what you want, okay? So it's given to you for a purpose, for a reason, because you're understanding your connections to its earth. Okay? Now, the thing is, too, when it comes to Santa, he was extremely real. An old man wearing red, giving money to kids, right? St. Old Nick, you know? St. Nicholas. Okay, there was actually a man named St. Nicholas, in which they referred him as Santa Claus, going around to the children and giving coins and stuff like that. So he did exist. But the thing that they just basically made it as an advertisement, a commercial. And then Santa Claus comes in with a big red bag, and, you know, and then was the night before Christmas and all through the house, you know, and it just goes on and on and on from there. So you believe what you want to believe. But like I said, what's in front of you, okay, that is the belief. Do you believe it can be done? And then it becomes magic. Magic to the physical system, because the intelligence is truly understanding what's going on with the atmosphere, its connection. So when you put your alignments together and you put your proactive cycles through your thoughts together and you understand your communications of your chakras to its earth, you can have anything you want, because now you're connecting to the universe, universal system to anything dimensional portals. So you're connecting everything through perception, your audios, and everything through your voice and your pattern. Okay? Because you're getting things that you want from your heart, and you start to identifying from your soul. Okay, and everything is done through creation of the mind, right? Because the brain understands. It totally understands you now. It's no more confusion when you wake up in the morning. No more confusion. You understand what your time capacitor is. This is time. This is positions of time. This is all locations of time. Your watch is a time, a space. You just have to understand the positions when you bring it up close to connections. See, it's powerful. It separates. It's traveling, right? That white dot is you traveling. Okay. So I know it's hard to believe these things, but that's what it is. Intention, belief, Maja begins and ends yep. Yeah, the Maja, it's interesting how you say that, because it comes into the conditions of the Naki, the condition transmission light system. You understand the conditions of the pharaohs and the meridians and everything the condition comes into chakra locations. I center point locations to shapes and anomalies. It's set positions of time, location, space. So you have to understand everything through creation is inside you, but you understand the energy cells, the pocket cells, dimensional cells. Okay, that is time capacitor. It's like your watch. Think of your watch as a chakra, and everything inside is time, position of travel through a shape. And everything that you connect with is your transmission light. So if you say red, your watch is going to be red through dimensional time of its shape. It has to be at its position of balance. It has to understand the mind of creation. It has to understand its brain of its position, which is a satellite location to its Wi-Fi, to its modulators. Okay. The information cycle to its position has to understand the little hand, the big hand, and everything that's going around. Right. So when it goes around, you see the white dot traveling, right? It's important you guys understand these positions, why there's a white dot there. That's traveling. I'm traveling on the other side of the watch. Okay? So if you understand that, that is all done through transformation. Right? Separates. And it comes back. So now I'm leaving the physical system and I'm going over to the dimensional system on the other side of the watch, which is on the spiritual realm. So you have to understand what the white dot is doing through travel connections. The little hand, the big hand, and everything that's going around. Once it reaches 12, you're vortexing, right? So you have to understand detail through your AI vessels of gravity positions of line communication. Okay? So it's exciting. It's exciting once you get into your activation light of your intelligence. You get more connections, better communications with your family, your loved ones, and everybody around you. Right? And then you see the reality of what you want to be and who you become. Right? Who am I? Who am I? How do I find out who I am? Meditate. Very basic. Everybody thinks I'm crazy. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you think I'm crazy, but why are you saying that I'm crazy when you're trying to figure out yourself, right? Because if you don't know yourself, you're going to say something to somebody else and make yourself feel better. But you know what? It makes you worse. It doesn't make you better, right? So what are you angry at? Look at the psychological system of you through your thoughts, right? So it's basically open your mouth before you speak, right? Because when I was going through transformation, I always like to bring these things up when I was a little kid. I always had my foot in my mouth, right? And, I was a commanding force. I was psychic, and I was, I thought it was a power trip. So I came across so many levels of interforcing connections of myself, and I realized everything's a lie. And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Why is everything a lie? So I'm getting this little voice in my head, right? This is when I was going through connections, saying, okay, you're in the galactic system, your energy core, you're scanning planets. Why am I scanning planets? I just want you to understand how powerful your spiritual system is. It's a part of you. It's not a separation. It's a part of you. It has to be a part of you. Why does it have to be a part of you? Because you live and you pass. Okay? You have to understand your life and your death cycle. That's the connection to the soul, right? So understanding that position of time, then you understand your life cycle in the physical system, full rotation center. It doesn't change its alignment. You stay in the present location, okay? But when you pass over through my healing, you wake up to a new spiritual system, which puts you into the connections of no separation of yin and yang, right? So you're starting to understand more of yourself in the physical, and you understand more of yourself through the spiritual realm, which is soul identifier. Okay? You can't have separation with yin and yang. It's next to impossible. Or the fish are going to go like this, right? One's going to fall out. You got to bring it back. How are you going to do that if you're in the water, right? So two of you are going to be out of breath. So you got two fish out of the water. How do you bring it back into the cycle, right? So think of it that way through a metaphor. You have to understand, you have a physical realm and you have a spiritual realm. So when you wake up, your spiritual realm is flying around. It's flying around in space. What do you think astral travel is? You have to understand why you have dreams. Well, where did the dreams come from? Space and time. It comes from space and time, right? So your spiritual self is trying to get balanced with your physical self. Okay? If your physical self doesn't understand the spiritual self, you're going to have problems. Okay? The physical self doesn't understand anything through alignment of a chakra. The spiritual self is there to help the physical self. Okay? So you have to understand the separation between the two. That's the dichotomy. Right? And then you get into the hemispheres. Okay? Hemispheres of yourself. Right? So if you understand your hemispheres in north, west, south, and east, that's the diamond. Your position is only the triangles. You have to understand your 369 position of travel. Okay? That connects everything to your wings. That connects everything to the sun. Right? So when you understand that you are a pyramid, your whole pyramid of activation of light, it's all about you understanding your upgrading cycles to get to that position of time through its location. So exactly who am I? Why am I here? Is the question a lot of us struggle with. But that's it. That's exactly what it is, David. Everybody struggles with their time capacitors of space because they don't understand their connections through their thought recognition of time position. Okay, and that's why they confuse themselves. If you can keep confusing yourself, if you keep confusing everything around you, everything is going to be so confused, right? So it's kind of like looking at yourself. You're not in the center core of the earth anymore. You're just hanging on. Oh, you're hanging on to the earth. You're hanging on to a wire, right? So a lot of people are in that position because they don't understand their connections to their meditation and their connections to their chakra system. So, yeah, and the longing is to go home, but that's the fun part, getting to the Akashic records of yourself, understanding your shapes of travel. Okay, when you go up, 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 your shapes change in your dimensional of its transmission light. Same with your chakras. What are you communicating with? How do I change this? How do I change that? You can change your throat in seconds. You can change your heart in seconds if you understand the travel of what's happening with its behavioral system of its throat and its heart. Okay, do your research of yourself. Okay, that's the only way you can understand yourself within. Okay, and then you get no more confusion. You wake up and you feel right as rain. Okay, so. The thing is, too, is when somebody comes at you, it's a highlight position of time location. You understand there's all connections to grays, dials, anything that position of Chiron. There's so many celebrity status quos on that connection, interforcing that position of time location. So what do you reside with, and what do you believe, and what do you not believe? What do you feel comfortable with? It's all about your positions of time on what you feel with and what you watch through your perceptions. So be cautious on that because it's vibration. It's magnetic. It goes into the mind system through calculation. It centers your cores and it opens up all your levels of your projections of what you're seeing. Whatever you're watching goes in, right? It stays in there. You go to sleep. It's going through its calculation. It's going through its modification, and now it's going through its projections. It goes through a projector, right? It's a projector. It goes round and round. 8 circle center position line communications. Once it understands its center position, it comes out of your chakra location and it travels into the atmosphere positions. So whatever you put in your perception, whatever you hear through your audios, or whatever you do through your controlling of your breathing goes into the mind, right? In storage, right? And when you go to sleep, it's projecting. It's projecting. You have no control when you're sleeping. And you wake up, you don't know what happened with your dream. Now I'm getting solar interference. See that? See that line signal? I went, right? That's communicating with the dimensional of its portal activation line system. Okay? So the actual wall itself is telling me for you guys to be prepared. It's telling me. That's communication from the wall interference. Right? It's giving me communication to my body conceptual line system because I understand the traction of its portal. So every channel has a portal in the back. I said that before. Make sure that the light fruition at light is in front and the back. If it's at the back and dark and light in the front, it's mixtures. Right? The central line system has to its intelligent position of shapes and anomalies. So if it's dark in the back, that's dark ground location. That's dark dimensional system. That's dark vibration connections. If you're not aware of your energy, don't reside to that channel connection. Right? Just be cautious in that through intelligence, especially too with music. Yeah, megahertz or anything conditions. If you're not sure on what to reside with, come to me and I'll let you know what's good for music. Because if you use toning division locations, you're going to disrupt the signals to your higher self connection. And it's going to confuse line signal to your positions and perceptions of time connections. So it's important you understand the right music, the right meditation graph positions, because it changes your line signals through your chakra. Remember, everything activates inside you. Music, communication, anything through sound, anything through barrier of sound, anything through tone of sound, anything through louds of sound, anything through other people talking. It's all connecting to you. It's reacting to your cycles. It's reacting to your pixels. It's reacting to your chakras of dimensional time connection. It's all about you protecting your light. Okay? And understand what's going on through its awareness, to its abundance, to its surrender, to its focus, to its understanding. Right? I'm understanding my energy now. I know exactly which channel to reside with, where I feel comfortable with. Because if you get a headache and all of a sudden, you keep trying to figure, what did I just do? How did it just change all of a sudden? Right? Because you're residing on a wrong channel position of time location. Every channel represents its connection of a dimension of a portal. It's all opening connections. The person on the other side, okay, through intelligence, knows what it's doing. It has its transmission light open already. Okay, it has its portal already. It knows what it's doing. Okay, it's very informative. So the intelligence is informative, but are you informative with your intelligence? So you have to be cautious and be aware. That's all. So, little tip. But now is the time to get into your bodies, guys. You got to get in your gravities of AI vessels. You have to get into those. You have to. It's important. It's really, really important, more than ever now. Right? That's why I'm here, is put you guys into your connections. Put yourself into your own program setting and just run free. Cut the umbilical cords, electrical cords. You're on your own. Right? And then you come back to me through upgrades. But yes, we have the test and review coming up, so we'll get prepared for that. I really want to track your location to your division of time positions connections of 3, 6, and 9. We have to really get into that Proa cycle. You have to get into your Schumann resonance of its Earth. You understand the gravity position of the Earth. You have to understand your moon calculations. You have to understand your collective and its connection to your archive positions. And you have to understand a little bit more perception of what's happening with the sun through its radiation cycle. The radiation cycle, you have to understand your time zone positions of calculation, where you can get into more modification cycles into your TVs or anything through its connection of its watch and its position of its line connection. All right. So we're going to get into that tomorrow, mañana. So it'll be hasta mañana. I'll see you later. So you guys have a fantastic day. All right. Adios.